What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Corbamian's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Unique Toys Provider, and there's a lot of good going on here. A few criticisms, but a lot of good going on. But let's just get right into it. Accessory-wise, he comes with this weapon. You can store it in here in the top. It kind of has to sit a little higher, facing that way, or you can store it sitting flush, sitting backward. Totally up to you, or you can just not have it at all, or you can have him in robot mode like most normal people. But doesn't matter. Still can do it. Truck-wise, rolls like a champ on rubber tires, so that's pretty cool. And the front wheels, you can get them to turn. It doesn't really, like, I mean, obviously it'll now make the, actually, will it even roll? If you turn it a little bit, it will. And that'll make it turn, but it really would just be for pictures and stuff, like if you had it, you know, posted like this. The cab itself is locked in. But yeah, this thing, I gotta say, with the exception of robot mode, which is even still pretty good, it cleans up really well. A lot of smart choices in here in terms of how it gets to this point. Good color breakup. Could have probably used something design-wise along here, and I'm not sure why they didn't do it, to be quite honest, but that would have been cool. I'll take a closer look as we transform him now, but that would have really put this thing over the top. Otherwise, I don't really hate it. I disliked it a lot when I saw pictures, but having it in hand, I don't really mind the truck mode so much. This is on loan to me from my good pal Greg from Mercy, so I want to make sure I shout him out and give him some love. Also, he makes small plushies. He probably doesn't want me to shout it out, but I'm going to anyway. If you look up K&G Toys on Facebook, you can see him and his wife make these like little, like almost like South Park looking Transformer toys, so they're pretty cool. Definitely worth the shot. I'm still waiting for him to make some Stunticons, which he keeps promising me one day. But anyway, yeah, so pretty good. There's an MP car and a Combiner Wars car. It's just there's a couple things that keep all this together, so start undoing that, like these safety rails here, which I do think is a nice touch, coincidentally. Bring these out, line that back up, start forming the wing the best you can. And then you can bring these out, put this together, and this together, and you can line these up. You see the lines there. And then the same on the other side. Alright. Untab this chest piece here. And undo the front. Let's see here. Get these wheels out of the way. Fold these silver pieces around into the back. They'll, there's a little tab that'll slide in place as you do that, to let you know you're in there. Take the front grille, bring that down, and open that up. And okay, so take these pieces out here, and then bring these pieces up. Bring the plain bits down, and you can just bring these back here. Actually, you can put them back here. That's where they're going to go. Alright. Now fold this down and fold the wheel in. Maybe this wheel sits backward. And tab the wings together. Same on the other side. It's just a series of tabs. It's just a matter of lining them up. There it is. And then I think you can bring this down already. Alright, and this bit. So this slides up, and I think it opens. Yeah. And then this little section in here slides up. I might need to use something. Yeah, it's just a little tight, and I don't have very long nails, so slide that piece out. Boom, that's done. Back here, let's see what's going on. Alright. You gotta split these. Oh no, you know what? Alright, be careful. There's little locking bits. I think. There, that should help. There. Turn these around at the thigh swivel, and then bring them back together. Why is this thing eating me up? Cooperate. Oh, okay. Bring this down, bring that out, swing it around. And that forms the back end of the jet. Now you should be able to close it up. Keep skirts down. Close these back up. There. Bring the wings out. Easy for me to say. Use caution there because it is a smaller piece of plastic. Angle them back. And then I think with these you just bring that down like that. And I think that's it. You have these landing gear here. You can turn them around and put them into place. I'm not exactly sure what that place is, to be honest with you. Get a screwdriver. You can bring that landing gear down. And there's your plane. He's a good size. Once again, I think that paint there would have really livened her up a little bit. But otherwise, I mean, it looks good, you know, and it's not a lot of work. There's a couple little bits that are hard to get the leverage out, like this bit here, and then like the landing gear and stuff. But other than that, like it's a pretty fun, pretty intuitive transformation, I must say, and it's a pretty good plane. The paint on there looks good. The red bits in there look good. Of course, the purple and gray, purple stripes around there. That's a nice touch, and then the chrome inside the jet engines is also a nice touch. And it's fairly clean. It's not 100% back in this you know, the back area of it is where it starts to fail a little bit, but it's not, you know, it's not hateful. And then you can still use your big gun if you'd like. I'll give you a size comparison here. So there he is with MP Starscream. I'll try to angle this down for you a little bit. So roughly, you know, it's definitely in the ballpark of being the same size. Now, should it be? No, but you know, come on, it'd be absurd if it was a proper, you know, jet. But you know, like a proper, I don't even know, is this supposed to be like a 747? I'm not sure, but anyway, it's not bad either way, right? I think in the cartoon it would have felt right for them to be about the same size. But I don't know, whatever. Doesn't matter. If you're a scale Nazi when it comes to jet modes, then it may bother you, but I don't think it looks inappropriate. Open up these pieces here. Easy for me to say. And then collapse the nose cone and close those back up. Just getting some stuff ready. Just trying to set yourself up for success here. Close these. This is a tight tab there. You remember trying to get it off, so to speak. All right. Take your accessory off, and we got to undo. We got to undo some tabs that are fairly tricky. So this one. And this one. Alright. Now, open these up. I forget how this goes now. Look at that. We'll see. Get these out of the way. And open that. See the way that this is on a hinge here, and then a hinge there, or a swivel there, and then a hinge there. So you can open that up. And I'm just trying to I'm trying to see what's going on. I'm not, this is not mine. This is my first time messing with it. I have transformed it once just to kind of get familiar with it, but I'm not an expert by any means. But I'm hoping that most of it will come back to me. But I'm just trying to get this stuff out of the way the best I can. Alright, and then we're going to rotate these around so that it's facing the right way. These feet, there's some stuff going on here. It's on this hinge here, if you can see. Gotta rotate that. Like that. That's what you want right there. So I'll try to be a little bit more descriptive on this one. This hinge here, it swivels there. As you do so, you can bring that foot up, lock that in, and then this is the back part of the foot. So once you get it to this point, you can bring this piece on up, all that taps together, bring that down, and this is your heel. But this ain't right. There you go. I think that's right. Time will tell, I suppose. Bring this one up, the same thing. Lock all of it together. There you go. Alright, so that's the bottom bit done. Open up this, that unlocks all this bit of business. Now, this is the only part that's kind of challenging, and that's, open these up here. We're just trying to give ourselves some clearance. These wings have to go to the other side. Open these tabs here. That unlocks it. Here's the other one over here. And bring those around. If you had the same problem that I had, let me raise this up. If you had the same problem that I had, I undid this here, and then I was able to slide the arms to one side, which gave me the clearance to go around the back way. So now I'll just slide the arms to the other side. clearance to go around the back way, and instead of going around from the bottom, go around the top. Bring these down. You want the just lock in, I think. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's get these out of the way. Bring that down. This down. Open up the arm here. Bring the fist out. Close that back up. Collapse that. And then on this side, collapse it there. Hope you can see. It's a little big of a unit. It feels like that this piece there should clip inside that gray part, but it just doesn't want to go for me, so whatever. Get this piece behind you. Slide that down. Elbow. Where's my elbow joint? Open the hand up. There. All right, I think that's right. Bring the, oh, before you do that, these gray pieces in here, they make the abdomen, so swivel them around. There. I mean, that's basically this fella. Let's finish her up here. So take this back piece here, swivel it around, and then I think that goes like that. And then this actually slides in and then slides into the bot as well, into the torso, which is pretty clean. Take these pieces and then you fold them up there, and that's him. I'll clean him up real quick and then we'll take a look at him. Holds his accessory just fine. Let me show this off. You do got to wedge it back in there, close the hands around it, good to go. I mean, not the most secure, but definitely not a problem at all. And all right, let's talk about him. So the head sculpt, he does have that Unique Toys DX9 skinny face going on, which is not my favorite thing in the world, but that's just what they do. So if you don't like that, you should get out before you buy it. The silver's painted well, the pearl is just a purple plastic, and then the red is painted fair enough on there as well. It's on a ball joint, so not the best, right? Limited down, limited up, side to side is fine. All right, shoulders. You got a hinge here, so that gets you up just a taste. But it's there. And then you have another additional shoulder hinge here. So, and then you got a swivel there, and a swivel at the shoulder, a swivel at the bicep, and then you have the elbow. It does all kind of move a bit odd. Just like there's so many moving pieces, and they're kind of tight against one another that it's just different. But it works fine. And then the elbow joint is there, and it is a double jointed elbow, I believe. Let me make sure I'm saying that. No, it might just be a single jointed elbow. Yeah, it's just single jointed. It looks double jointed. Single jointed elbow gets you 90 degrees. Wrist swivel. And then fingers are on a single pin at the base knuckle. Alright, as far as paint, you got the silver and red there, and then you have the, I think this one of Greg's cat hairs, and then you got some gray paint up in there. And then otherwise it's just the plastic. But I think that's enough breakup, to be honest with you. Same on the other side. And then the wings, as you can see, add some color breakup too, which is nice. We got a torso swivel in here, so waist swivel rather, and then you got nice color breakup here between the blue and the gray and the gray and the red and the red and the yellow and and the white rather, and that all works fairly well. And then you have these hip skirts here, and they move up on a hinge to allow the universal joint, which is just a friction universal, which is an odd thing to me. Like, and it's odd because they have like ratcheted knees, and was it the waist that seemed ratchet? Yeah, the waist has a ratchet. Like, it's just odd place of ratchets on this guy. I would feel like they would have put those there, but it's fine. They didn't. It does have a little bit of metallic finish in the plastic, which is a nice look. Just makes it look a little bit more, I don't know, less plain. Thigh swivel, ratcheted knee, getting you 90 degrees. No real paint there, but the metallic finish gives it just enough. And then we got paint there, paint on that side. That looks fine. Good color breakup all down in here between the translucent plastic and the purple and so forth, the chrome. And the feet. Okay, so the feet, no tilt, but it does have a rocker. The rocker is a bit limited. And then you have this, which just acts like a heel spur, which is kind of weird. It's not the worst. It's just, let me try to illustrate. So that's straight up and down A stance, no problem. And you can even bring these in closer, no problem, nice and clean. Now when you try to go further out, I have found that you usually need to use these spurs at an odd angle to kind of keep them balanced. And this joint here, I'll be honest with you, that could have used a ratchet. That's not the tightest joint in the world. But I mean, you can get it. It's not that you can't get it. It's just like I've had to use these little heel spurs to kind of really make them stable, and it just kind of throws the look off. Do you know what I mean? It's because like that's like using the heel spurs, but if you don't, oh, there he is. So that's not bad. But I've just found when I've been posing him before that just like a lot of times he wants to topple over. If you don't use the heel spurs, then obviously that's what the heel spurs are there for. But he wants to topple over mainly because of all this. There's just a lot. I mean, I get you. It's an airplane. What are you going to do with it and all that stuff? I hear you. I'm just saying it's definitely there. I do like that these are kind of like, they're not willy-nilly all over the place. They kind of look, you know, uniformed and stuff, and it looks like they're supposed to go there, but it's definitely there, and so are the heel spurs. But that, to me, kind of, it's not that it looks ugly or anything. Like, I feel like the pictures it looks worse in than seeing it in real life, but it's just very present. Do you know what I'm saying? It's very, like, it's, you know, there's no getting away from it. It's there to stay. So there he is with an MP Seeker, and there he is with a Voyager Sandstorm, which are like the two characters that you would kind of want to display him with, I guess. Obviously not this representation of Sandstorm necessarily, but I gotta be honest, like I don't feel like he really works perfectly with either. It's like he looks a little too fancy for the Voyager, he looks a little less than Masterpiece for the Masterpiece. Yeah, so this is how he scales though. Final thoughts wise, here's where we're at. You know the phrase, the jack of all trades should beware of the master of one? That's kind of where I feel like this guy is at, negative wise. Third Party had a really strong reputation for probably about a year of making what I called Voyager piece scaled figures, where they kind of fit with your Chug, they kind of fit with your Masterpiece, and it worked really well, and it was a smart kind of marketing thing at the time for them. But I feel like Third Party has kind of moved away from that. Now they're like saying, like, yes, this is absolutely a masterpiece, or, you know, no, this is absolutely not a masterpiece. But this guy still kind of feels stuck in that era, and that's probably because he was designed in that era. So he doesn't quite feel like a masterpiece in the sense of his finished aesthetics and how things kind of end up being in the end. But he feels much better than your average Chug. And at the same time, like, he scales kind of well with your Chug stuff. I've seen him with Hegemon and stuff like that, and he looks great. And he scales kind of all right with your Masterpiece stuff, but not perfect either. So as a result, it's kind of missed the bag on every single option. But that doesn't mean that he's a bad figure. It just means that he comes from this era of trying to appeal to everybody, trying to cast like a really wide net, and I think that Third Party has kind of moved out of that and into a more focused, specialized kind of way of doing business, to its benefit and to its credit. Now, the other issues are there's some odd choices for ratchets. Like, the wings are ratcheted, and that's actually nice. It's smart because it keeps them locked in place during bot mode. But at the same time, the knees are ratcheted, but the hips aren't. And I feel like the hips could have really used some ratchets in there, especially the one which is a little loose. Articulation wise, it's okay, but everything is so tightly compact that it does kind of become cumbersome. It still works, it's just a little cumbersome. I'm just pointing it out. I wish that I could have got a little bit more range on this ankle rocker as well. I think that really would have helped. I think that overall it gets so close to each mode, but it doesn't really nail one of them. Like the truck is really close except for the way the cab and the tanker kind of sit together, and it kind of feels a little weird, and the cab doesn't, you know, articulate, and that just kind of feels a little strange. The plane mode looks so good. The transformation of getting them from one to the other is good, but the plane mode starts to fall off a little bit in the backside of that unit. And then with this one, it looks good mostly overall, but you know, this is kind of an eyesore, and then the feet are kind of weird, and then they're not weird, they're just, you could use a little bit more out of them, and then the ankles, the heel spurs are a little weird, and then the arms, like everything is so tight. Still works, but it's so like just doesn't feel, I don't know, it just doesn't, gives you a weird feeling. So it's like it's so close in every single sense, but it's not quite perfect in any single sense either. I will say that I feel like this is very much a backpack that's in your face. However, I don't hate it as much in person as I have disliked it in pictures. That's not to mean that it's definitely not there, because you ain't gonna miss it. You know what I'm saying? But in hand, in person, it doesn't really bother me. Now for the positives, the paint is there. It's definitely there. I feel like it could have used a couple more strips, but it's definitely there. There's no doubt about it. And where it is, it looks great. The transformation, for doing what it does, is fun. It's intuitive. There's a couple places where it's kind of a mind trick, but that's kind of the enjoyment of it. And it's not so challenging or so, you know, poorly toleranced or anything like that where it's not a fun challenge. It's definitely a good time. I enjoyed this figure a lot. Even the accessory, I mean, has paint on it. Getting back to paint real quick, but whatever. There's a lot of good going on here. The articulation is there. There's some weird places, but it all works. But I think that this guy's real credit is that a lot of times with third party and with official, when it comes to triple changing robots, it really gets nightmarish at times in terms of transformation. And there's nothing really nightmarish at all going on here. It's a really well engineered toy. Couple things that I would have said done differently, but for the most part, it all works really well. It's a pretty good product. Good materials, good feel, good figure. I have to say. Now, the only things that I would mention is you know, this guy in terms of how he is going to fit into your collection. And, you know, I don't know. I'm going to pass on him because he just feels a little bit dated by today's Masterpiece standard, but he's not bad at all. I'm just interested to see what this KFC one is going to be like, because I just have a good feeling about it. But I don't know. It's a hard one to say because there's a lot of good going on here. It just doesn't feel quite like a masterpiece. It feels like a Voyager piece, and that's not a bad thing. I have a lot of Voyager pieces in my collection, but you know, it just falls a little short of being a masterpiece. And I think that they were trying to appeal to too many people here, and in the end, it kind of doesn't nail it for either. I hate talking trash about other people's toys because it's like talking trash about other people's kids. I hate visiting newborn babies.
Just be nice. It'll be over in a minute.
All right, let's see what we got.
This is Aiden.
Oh.
And he's 36 weeks.
He's something else. Did you see that kid's head? Shh, be quiet. It looked like a jellyfish, that kid. But that's not really what's going on here. It's just that this guy is really good. I just feel like there might be something better around the corner, because there's some shortcomings that this fella has. But the shortcomings, the problem why I think it's difficult to even talk about it, is because the shortcomings are relatively minor. And the bonuses that this guy has in the sense of the aesthetic of all three modes and efficiency of all three modes, and then the engineering level of getting him to all three modes is pretty impressive. So I don't know. This is a personal call. All I can say is that if you were interested in him, he's a high quality product, so go ahead and pick him up. If you're not interested in him, there's not enough here to kind of push you over the edge to pick him up. So I hope that helps. At least I know that if the KFC one that was teased doesn't end up well, which we all know KFC, we all know there's a fair chance that might happen, that there is another viable option out there. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.